Hello you guys, and welcome back to the next video of my Build Your Frankenplanner series, which is about setting our weekly routines. So the last video I put out under this series was setting up our daily routines. We ended up going over how to basically also set up goals, because your routines are typically something that you want to take from goals that you have, or you don't have to, but many of us have goals, and I wanted to explain how you basically, when you set up goals, you set up steps, and those steps most likely need to be part of your routines, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Sometimes it's a combo, and in order to be successful with our goals and effective, we need to put them in our routines. So we set up our daily routine, and then I showed you how I put them in my daily routine on my catch-all planner, because this is where the magic of the typical day-to-day happens for me. So today, though, I want to talk to you about how we are going to be successful with the things that we do on a weekly basis, because once we get going on our dailies, our day-to-day, you know, they say, like, after doing something in a row 3 times, I've heard this before anyway, it is kind of in your brain that you know, it's almost like your brain kind of knows to think about it. Well, weekly, it's a little bit harder. Monthly, it's definitely harder. Annually, it's hard. It's really hard, right? But weekly, it's been 6 to 7 days since you last did that item, and we can easily forget about it or fall off the wagon with that. So today I wanted to talk about the easy and simple way that I actually make sure that I do my weeklies. And my weeklies are another thing that I do have on my catch-all planner. I take from here and I put them on my catch-all planner so I can see them on a day-to-day basis. And in addition to that, I have an extra step that might be helpful for those of you who feel overwhelmed about doing everything for the week or the upcoming week on one day. I used to wait until Saturday or Sunday to do everything for the upcoming week. And that was just all the planning was overwhelming me, let alone the action steps I needed to go through over the weekend. I felt like the weekend was supposed to be for rest and family time, especially when I was working and going to my job. But if I was sitting there all day planning and doing the action steps that I needed to actually do to prep for the week, I felt like I wasn't getting any time to rest or be with my family or for myself. So today we're going to go over how we incorporate our weekly routines into our planner system. And I think it can be pretty simple if we do it this way. So it's a system that has worked for me. So what we did here was, this was just an example goal that I had already had here, but we went over these 2 goals here in my last video to come up with these daily, weekly, and monthly routines. So we figured out the things that I need to do on a daily and a weekly basis for my goal for budgeting, which is tracking daily and doing my expense to income report weekly. And we figured out what I need to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis for figuring out how I'm going to try to lose 3 to 5 pounds in a month for my fitness and wellness goal. So then let's go over. Now, by the way, if you're new to this whole thing, like, we took these goals from my planner categories. So it's kind of like a step-by-step system. You don't have to do your planner categories, but since this is a Build Your Frankenplanner series, I'm on the step of making sure that we know what to do for our habit trackers or routines. So we made sure that we plugged in our dailies. This is just my current week, but you guys helped me plug it into my next week. We made sure to plug in my dailies here under my morning, day, and evening routine. Now, what I like to do is I like to make sure that I don't forget about the things I need to do once a week. Now, in order to do those things once a week, I end up assigning them a day and then putting it on my to-do list for that day. So for example, what I like to do is basically I have assigned my days of the week for planning. So just kind of taking some brainstorm time to figure out what you want to, what day works for you to plan in that area or category of your life. So for example, my Mondays, I am going to assign my planning. Now this is my planning system. I'm going to assign to be my YouTube, Etsy, and Instagram planning, okay? I don't do too much Instagram planning, so I'm hoping that this new, the system of assigning it on that day will help me think a week ahead. Tuesdays, I have as my wellness. Wednesdays, I plan on planning in my home section, which is meals and cleaning. Thursday is when I plan on sitting down and planning a week ahead for homeschool. So I will sit down on a Thursday and plan the following week for homeschool. So yes, I will sit down on a Monday and plan the following week for YouTube, Etsy, and Instagram. Friday, I am doing basically setting up my next week's catch-all or my weekly everything spread, which is this. And that might just be decorating it. If I've already done all this planning, I will go to those sections of my planner and plug them in, that kind of thing. And I want to do my budget, my income budget stuff, like anything that's weekly. And then Saturday and Sunday, these are actually action items that this is when I actually want to not sit down. For example, I have meal prep veggies and prep proteins. That's when I do my meal prep here. So I prep my veggies and proteins on Sundays usually. And as you can see, I'm assigning stuff to each day that pertain to my goals. So let's go over my weekly goals here. My weekly goal is something I have to do weekly. I should say routine. Sorry if I keep confusing you with saying the wrong name. These are my goals. This is my goal. These are my steps to attain the goal. And these are what I needed to put as the step into a routine. That's the biggest part here, is taking that step and putting it into a routine. And then this page may be enough for you, but I need it on my spread that I see all the time, because I'm not going to go flip to this page every time. I want it here. Now for you, maybe this can be flipped to the next page or wherever that works for you. But for me, I want it here. And then this goes in a different section of my planner. So when I went over these steps in the last video, I realized that there were some things that needed to be done weekly and monthly as opposed to just daily. So I'm not going to fill out an expense to income report on a daily basis. I'm going to track my expenses on a daily basis, but on a weekly basis, if I want to meet this goal, I have to fill out an expense to income report on a weekly basis. So I need to assign that to a day that I'm going to do that. And what I have done is I have put it in on Friday. Same thing with prep veggies and proteins. In order to lose 3 to 5 pounds in a month, I need to eat my veggies and my proteins. So in order to do that, I need to prep them. Well, I'm not going to prep food every day. What's the point of prepping food, right? I'm going to basically prep it every couple days or the whole week if I can. And that's when I have assigned prepping. So the actual physical prepping, not planning, but physical prepping is going to happen on Sunday, because that seems to work for me and my family and our schedule. And then I have on here on a weekly basis to meal plan, which meal planning is part of my home planner section. So I went ahead and assigned it to Wednesday because I can plan some meals for the following week on a Wednesday. That makes most sense for me because we do our grocery online shopping, like we go on the app and we add things throughout the week. But on Wednesday, that gives me enough time to think about what we might want the next week and add things for a Thursday or Friday pickup. So that way I can have food by Saturday and Sunday so I can prep veggies and proteins and meals and stuff like that. So you kind of have to think about what works with your schedule. You will probably, and so will I, be doing some kind of adjustments here, and maybe you just can't get to something that day. But if I didn't get to my planning on Monday for YouTube, Etsy, and Instagram, I might have to fit that into another day. But at least I'm not doing all of these things in one day, because that is going to be overwhelming and too much for me to do on a Saturday or a Sunday. And I like to leave a day free in case I need to catch up because I missed out on something, or in case I just need rest and a day off of planning or whatever it may be. So this is how I keep track of, or I keep myself accountable, and I make sure this system is effective, is by having it on somewhere where I can see it. It's like my guide. So when I go to, usually I have like a mom break in the middle of the day, and I can sit down and I can say, okay, what am I planning today? YouTube. Okay, I need to sit down and think of the videos, or go to my ideas list and actually think of what videos I'm going to film this coming week to have ready for the next Monday. Etsy, what am I trying to work on? What's the next step for whatever I'm getting out to you guys for planner inserts on my shop and all that? And then Instagram, do I want to have some kind of plan, or am I kind of done? That's kind of usually what goes through my head anyway. And then Tuesday, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to go over some of my wellness goals. So if I needed to do my measurements, I will most likely do that on a Tuesday. Or if I needed to update a tracker or something, or if I want to look ahead and see what kind of program I want to do the next week, and so forth. So it is like a week in advance, but it is helping me to be so much more successful on a weekly basis if I have things assigned to certain days, because I don't do these things every single day, if that makes sense. My daily stuff is a little bit more detailed. My weekly stuff needs to get done most likely one time that week. Now, you could do all of these things in a day, but I prefer to do it with my planner system, because that's how I've set up my planner, is basically to be part of my goals and stuff like that. So I hope that this video was helpful for you in figuring out how you can be successful in your routines on a weekly basis as well. And if you haven't watched the daily routine setup, go ahead and you will find that in the same series. And it also talks about setting up goals and routines, which is kind of like an extra to the video. So give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if you like this series as well. Let me know down below what you guys do to set up, make sure you're successful for the things that you do on a weekly basis. Do you guys have a daily habit tracker for your dailies, and do you have something for weekly? Let me know your system, and let me know if this is something that you found helpful to add into your weekly routines. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a wonderful new year, or new year to come, and are getting all set up for January 2022. If you have anything that you haven't set up yet and you are teeter-tottering back and forth on ideas, let me know. I'm so curious what you guys are having trouble with, because I have some things that are, I have trouble with too, and I'm kind of curious if I'm the only one out there. But all right, you guys, I will see you for the next one. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. Bye.